Hey guys, it's been another 100 days in the Badlands only world. If you haven't seen the first one, link will be in the description. I will definitely recommend you to watch that one first before you watch this one. If you want to help out this channel, by the way, you can do that with subscribing. It's completely free and you can unsubscribe whenever you feel like it. Anyway, let's move on to the video. Day 101. I started off this day with farming. I didn't expect myself to do another 100 days in the Badlands only world, but people have been asking for it, so here I am doing another 100 days. I also put a carpet on the llama since a comment told me I could do that, so I did. I made a to-do wall or a to-do list about all the things I wanted to do in these next 100 days. Or well, try to get done. I didn't get them all done, unfortunately. On day 102, I started running towards the end to get an elytra. I did, however, run into a wandering trader, and I know people have been telling me to get saplings from these guys, but he didn't sell them. But I did, however, buy some dyes and some flowers for their colors, so I could put more carpets on llamas, colored carpets. I jumped through the 2 portals and started my journey looking for an end city. Also, this voiceover is apart from the rest of the whole voiceover line because I made a stupid mistake. Too many, to be honest. But yeah, I started my journey looking for a end city, and I only found a lot of small ones. And the big ones that I found did not have a ship. I can also already start to mention that 3 days of footage have been corrupted, and I tried to fix them and tried to get them back, but unfortunately I couldn't. And 2 of these days were 104 and 105. So yeah, that kind of shows why I couldn't show the whole journey here, but I found 2 cities. That means 2 elytras. I flew from one ship to this ship after I broke down the whole thing that I built to there, but yeah. It's very unfortunate that that happened, but I cannot really do much about it, unfortunately. But yeah, I started to fly my way back home. And I also need some flying teacher, I guess. I need a flying teacher for this. And then it could get worse, obviously, because when I landed, I got attacked. So that sucks. After some time of just casually flying, I decided to just start walking because these elytras break really fast. On day 107, I threw the stuff in the chest and never looked back at it again. I really never looked back at it again. I made a diamond shovel, and I also enchanted it with efficiency 4. And then I started collecting sand, because the sand I would need for a project for the next day. So I started smelting the sand. On day 108, I started working on the automatic potato farm. The biggest pain about this farm is the villagers, and if you also want to know how to make this farm, there's a link in the description for all the farms that I tried to make or made in these 100 days. Anyways, the fight started with getting these villagers into the boat and the cart and then outside. So I decided to make this little breeding place on the ground very close to the farm so I could remove the rails out of my house or tracks. I brought the first villager into the stinkhole, and then I kidnapped another villager casually while the iron golem was watching me. This one went kind of easier than the last one, but still working with villagers and boats and all that kind of stuff, it's annoying. I brought the second villager into the hole or bunker and I gave them some potatoes and some beds and I left. I started working on a place where the resources for the automatic farm would come in. And I then started to remove the dirt and rails and wood out of my house, so I would have a pretty house again. On day 115, I started to go to the nether to kill these wither skeletons for their skulls. because if I don't kill that wither now, I will back out of that plan. So I started working on it, and it took me a whole day, and I didn't really get anything from it, even with a looting 3 sword. But eventually I got my first skull. And right after that I got my second skull. And only 5 minutes after that I got my third skull and ran back home. On day 117 I farmed sticks for trading. On day 118, I want to say 15, I don't know. I broke the spawners behind my castle because I needed strings for beds, I think. I didn't wrote that down. But I needed strings, so I broke the cobweb from the spider spawner things. I'm so tired, I don't even know what I'm saying. I brought the first villager into the farm. And the next day I also brought the second villager into the farm. This is also, by the way, like the first layer still, I think. Yeah. It is. And in the night I spent the night just basically getting dirt for more layers of that farm. Just 1 or 2 layers will not do. Now replay mod kind of didn't really work with me in these days. So I don't have a replay for the second layer. But the second layer is meant for the carrots. I went into the nether to get some XP to mend my pickaxe, and no, I still did not have an XP farm, and later in this video I was trying to get it, but let's just forget about that. I got my first villager into the second layer, and very shortly after that I got the second one in there. No, he just ran away, okay? On day 124, is that 24? Yeah. I spent this day farming. That's all I did, farming. Oh yeah, and making the sugarcane farm bigger, because I wanted to have bigger farms and more farms. On day 125 I went into the ends, because you're not really thinking I'm gonna kill the wither legit, are you? Nah. I dug out the place that I learned somewhere on the internet how to do it, and I spawned the wither. And I killed it. Hard fight, man. On day 126 to 128, more working on the farm. On day 129 I started looking for mineshafts. I needed the mineshafts to get minecarts. I didn't want to waste my own iron on making minecarts, so I decided to just go look for them. I didn't really run into an interesting mineshaft, but I did run into one of these broken portals. I looted everything and then started searching for more. I finally ran into a mineshaft that had these easy chests. So I took them. It was 4 in total and I only needed 2, but I took them all 4. On day 131 I tried to get the villagers in their beautiful cage again. You know what, the more you do it, the easier it gets. So it wasn't really that hard to get these two in there, and then I finished the last bits of the farm and I decided to just put a roof over it and not add more layers on it. And then I spent the rest of the day just trading. On day 133, yes, another wandering trader and no saplings. I did trade with some other useless things. Like flowers and I don't know. And then I killed him. And then I spent some time on trading and waiting for the llamas to cool down. And then I brought the llamas into my basement. Because I love llamas again. Someone's taught me I have too much. Oh yeah, I put carpets on them all. That's why I bought all these dyes to give them color. The pink one is so candy-ish, I don't even like it, oh my god. And I spent on day 134 basically trading. And making more farms. I made a beetroot farm, a melon farm, and another pumpkin farm. I only really used the melon farm, so the other two are kind of useless, but hey, it looks good, I guess. On day 135 I went into the nether to trade with piglings for leather. I'm not sure if there's another way to get leather besides killing these big hoglins, is that what you call them? I still don't know, I played a decent amount of time this version of Minecraft, and I still don't know. On day 136 I spent this day just trying to look for blackstone for the castle. And I also met my pickaxe with the quartz. But I didn't really find any blackstone, so I went into the basalt biome, which is really close to the warped forest. But I kinda, yeah. Something happened. It's not like I was like dying or something, but I don't really like this biome, so I decided to just go back on the ground and do it the hard way. Oh yeah, I ran into a lot of ancient debris as well, but I don't really have a use for them. On day 138 I started working on the castle till 143. On day 144 I made my netherite scraps into just netherite something. I forgot the name already. It's been 2 months since I played Minecraft, okay? I also made this place for the beacon to be. And then I spent the rest of these 2 days trying to get a good book enchant, and I don't really know what I was looking for, but I eventually got an efficiency 5 and I was like, yeah, sure. I'll take it. And then spend the rest of the day just trading, getting more emeralds. And then I made them into blocks, because I would need a lot of those for the fully charged beacon. On day 146 till 148, the biggest mistake of my life. I started exploring mine shafts. And I was hoping for more minecarts for eventually the sugarcane farm I was planning on, but I ran into a spawner, and I'm used to playing on a Minecraft server, which apparently had it that way that you could break spawners with Silk Touch. I think you can already guess where this is going, but I started making a underground place for an XP farm for the spawner. And I had my mind on that kind of point of like, yeah, I can break it with Silk Touch, I can. Of course I can. So I really spent 2 days making this farm. You can find this farm also linked somewhere in the description. There is several like different ways of doing this, but yeah, you can find it in the description. But I spent a good 20 minutes on making this farm. And then I broke the spawner. Yeah. I was so disappointed in myself. I was even double checking if my pickaxe really had silk touch, but yes. I placed emerald blocks in the place of where the beacon would be, and I spent just the rest of the day kind of just farming. I'm drowning in my own tears. On day 149 I started working on the sugarcane farm that I was planning to make. I went through this phase of like, yeah, you wanna have a lot of automatic farms, but now I'm completely out of that whole stuff again. I don't like redstone, to be honest. But hey, you can find this farm also linked in the description. And the replay mod, by the way, didn't work on this one again, so yeah. We have to look from it from this perspective, I'm sorry. I went into the mines to just, or caves to get more gold. Because you really need a lot for like the rails. And I was even desperate enough to get into the nether to get more gold. I made the nuggies into just gold. And I started making the rails, or the tracks, and working more on that farm on day 150. I also spent this night of day 150 just mining for more iron so I could make pistons. And I also found some diamonds. I made a diamond axe and I enchanted it with efficiency 4. You know what, I also made a diamond hoe, because I can. And I also enchanted it with efficiency 4, and then I made them into netherite, because I can. And you know what, you can break through this really fast now, so it was a good thing to do. So I spent just day 151 cutting down these nether trees, fungus, something. On day 152 I made the pistons and I started working more on the sugarcane farm. On day 154 I spent this day mining more blackstone for the castle. I also ran into more ancient debris, but I really don't know what to do with it anymore. On day 155 to 158 more working on the castle. It's a big castle. On day 159, I spent this day just cutting down more nether trees. I really don't know why I started with this whole project of blue wood, but hey, it's worth it. It's worth it. That's what I keep telling myself. On day 160, more farming and trading. I really don't know why, but I really made things harder for myself with just editing it all, but at the end of the day I got it all edited, so I'm proud of myself. On day 161 I spent time on making more farms, because apparently the ones that I had wasn't enough, so I wanted like 3 more extra, I think. And it was mainly just all potato and carrot farms. On day 162, I spent more time in the nether for just mining blackstone. I really chose some hard blocks to build with, but hey. On day 163 to 164, I'm more working on the castle. I like how my edit program just crashed mid voiceover, but hey, on day 165, more cutting down nether trees for the wood. There goes a lot of wood in the castle, and I almost regret using this wood, but there wasn't really anything else for me. On day 166, I went back into the nether to mine more blackstone. Yeah, I also got some more ancient debris, but I really didn't find a use for it. And on day 167, I spent more time working on the castle and mainly the stables. Day 168, yes, more farming. Why does my quality look so weird? Wow. Yes, but more farming and more trading. I made the emeralds into emerald blocks and I placed them into the hole that I dug for the beacon. And then on day 169, I brought the llamas out of my basement to their new homes, the stables. But getting them out of my basement is kind of hard, you know? They don't really want to walk the stairs, honestly. So I had to, like, hang them, almost. Wow, that sounds so evil. I eventually got them all up and I brought them into their new homes. And 2 of them obviously didn't want to, but yeah, eventually they did. And then I brought the last 2 into their new home, and yeah, they liked it, I guess. And then I spent more time on farming and trading. And on day 170, more working on the roof. On day 171 to 173, I spent this day just mining more blackstone in the nether. And I also found more ancient debris. But I also ran into the basalt biome, but then underground, which felt way more safer, and I was really happy with that. And I got a lot of blackstone from this, so that means a lot of building. I also mended my pickaxe with the quartz that I found. And on day 174 to 179, more working on the castle. And I also made somewhere a mistake and broke down a whole wall, but detail. On day 180 to 181, I spent more time placing emerald blocks and farming, trading, all that stuff for more emeralds. On day 182, I spent this day cutting down more trees. I'm getting sick and tired of these trees, but yeah, I need a lot of wood. And the next 2 days I spent making the roof. On day 185, I thought I made a mistake, so I broke down the whole wall and yeah. I realized that that was not the case and I actually didn't make a mistake, so I had to rebuild the wall again. But then I spent some more time on making the roof, so I at least did something useful this day. On day 186 to 187, I emptied the automatic farm and I spent more time on trading. And farming, obviously. Basically, I spent these 2 days just more boring trading, farming, and placing emerald blocks. Yeah, the end was coming very near, so I had to be fast with everything that I wanted. But on day 188, I spent more time on cutting down trees, so I could work some more on the roof. So I did that on day 189. It still sounds like I'm saying 9. On day 190, I kinda lost the footage and I had no idea what I did on that day since I don't have notes, but on day 191 I spent some time farming and I found diamonds. On day 192 I came across another wandering trader and no, still no saplings. But I did buy some other things and then I killed him. And obviously took his llamas. His 6 or 8, whatever I had wasn't enough for me, obviously. Day 180, day 193, yes, I brought the llamas into the big place because I had no space left. And I also spent some more time on cutting down trees. And day 194, I have issues with saying this. I fixed the tower that I didn't fix the first 100 days, but I did now. And then I spent some more time working on the roof. On day 100... Oh my god, do I really need Google Translate for this? No. I spent more time cutting down trees. And I also ran into another wandering trader. And yeah, I killed him because he didn't sell saplings. And I also took his llamas again. And I spent some more time on cutting down trees. And on day 196, I finished the roof. I almost finished the roof. I was only missing the fences. So I spent some more time on cutting down trees since the end of these 100 days was coming very near. Close, near, I don't know. And I spent some more time on, like, you know, fishing because I wanted a friend. So I got this cat that I didn't name, so yeah. I placed the fences on the roof and yeah, at least that side is done. I don't think I could finish the rest of the castle in these next days. But I put some more carpets on the new llamas and look at how fancy they look. On day 198 I spent some more time on farming and trading since I still didn't finish my fully charged beacon. But I made the beacon and I also got the last blocks. And I placed the beacon down and I also finally got that one done. I threw that stuff off my to-do wall and made a new to-do list. Kinda. And I also decorated my beacon place because I kinda did the math wrong, but yeah. And on day 100, day 200 I fixed the pool with lava because my OCD couldn't deal with it, but I did, yeah. Look way better now. I looked down at my world and I was like, yeah, I survived another 100 days, so cheers guys.